In this video, I'm going to explain the importance of upper and lower body disconnection in snowboarding. This is referring to going and expanding a range of motion by letting your upper body continue the momentum, or going and starting with your upper body to channel that momentum. A lot of people, when they're thinking about snowboarding, think that you want to be connected, tight, and you want to be moving everything together. But this actually isn't true. Where power and flow comes from in snowboarding is through channeling your motions through. So instead of trying to go like toe edge, heel edge, just staying squared the whole time, instead I'll be getting into that toe edge, I'll be elongating it, I'll be pushing through it, and as I extend, I'll be rotating my upper body. This makes it so I can now pop up into my heel edge and load into that position. So let's go and cover some of the misconceptions about this technique, how it's applicable to carving, and then we'll go into freestyle, all while talking about how we can train it throughout the summer. So the biggest thing that people get wrong about this is they'll go and try to lead with their upper body first. So say you're doing like a toe edge turn, if you then go and try rotate your upper body, you're now going to have shifting momentum. So your upper body is going to be over here, but your body's momentum still going down the slope this way. This is how a lot of edge catches happen. You're coming in, you shift your upper body this way, your momentum's still going this way, you clip your heel edge because now you're composed, you're twisted, and you're not a strong platform. That's why whenever we're going and disconnecting our upper body from our lower body to elongate a motion, we need to make sure that it's set off of the correct base. So for a heel side turn, I'm not just going and rotating my upper body here and then trying to sink into it. Instead, I'm getting on that strong heel side position, and then to elongate it, I'm pushing to the back leg, I'm going and increasing the rotation of my upper body and coming through. And this is where you get that surfy, flowy motion. So when we're doing like a really good toe edge to heel edge turn, we're getting onto that toe edge in the stack position, we're pushing through it, elongating, and then we're pulling back into that neutral position, locking in, and then elongating it again, trying to just expand the motion as much as possible. So how can we train this? It's as simple as going into your stacked heel side position and then trying to increase rotation in your hips, in your upper body, shifting it all the way 90. We can't really do it past this point, but a good way to just think about it is if you can touch here, that's pretty good. Think about like the Japanese carvers, we're going hands all the way down. That's what we want to train. And then when we're doing it on toe side, it's a little more subtle, it's a little different, and it really starts depending. So when we're on a toe side turn, we have a couple of options. First, we don't really want to be leading and closing our upper body on the slope because that's going to make us blind, that's going to make it so we have a really hard time getting over. So we're still using an opening base motion on toe side. So as we're on our toe edge turn, in order to elongate this turn, what you want to do is start pushing your weight through your back foot, rotating the upper body, and pushing, pushing, pushing. And what this twisting does is it adds another platform to go and generate friction and force through the slope. Because if you just go and stand up taller trying to push down into the slope, it's going to go and speed you along a little bit, help you get a little more gripped edge. But by going and adding this little bit of twist and push, we're elongating our motion so much, making it so we can expand and twist more. And a really important thing that I want to mention for this, hey buddy, I need a little bit of space, buddy boo, is when we're going and doing this, if we shift our weight over to our back leg, it really expands our range of motion. So look at this, if I'm trying to do a heel edge turn, set on my front foot, I'm sort of getting limited here, I can't really get down into it, but as soon as I go and shift it to the back foot and load into that back foot, I'm now able to get it twisted more, get it loaded more, and that's going to let me get lower and get a more exaggerated carve. So that's another thing that's really good to practice in the summer. Practice your neutral stack position, and then as you push it, as you elongate it, shift your hips back and feel how that can open up. On the toe edge, feel how as we're on our toe edge, if we're over on our front foot and we try to elongate, it's sort of twisted, I can't really get standing up here. See how limited that is? But as soon as I shift to my back leg, I can now start expanding and pushing through. And that's really one of the most important parts about this, and the reason why we're doing it is the more expansion we can get on our range of motion, the more room we'll have to go and put pressure through a turn and put pressure through our motions, letting us get more linkage and more possibilities. So just a little practice, and then we'll go into a freestyle ramifications. Come in, practice on your toe edge, getting onto that toe edge, shifting your weight to your back hip, extending it, coming up. Heel edge, getting to your heel edge stacked position, and as you load into it, twist, 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 and then shift it over to your back leg in correlation when you're doing it if you want to go a bit more advanced. So from this angle, toe edge, push, 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 push. As I'm pushing, I'm elongating to my back leg. This also puts you in a good position to like pop up and channel that energy through the tail. And then as I go and shift back to the heel edge, I'm going heel edge stack position, rotating, 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 shifting, 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 trying to get super down, hand over towards that back leg. So it's used all the time in carving to expand motions, but it's really, really used in freestyle. And that's because in freestyle, we really need to be leading rotations with our upper body, and we really need to be going and closing them off and expanding range of motion. So let's talk about that a little bit. Most people know about setup cars in snowboarding, where you're trying to come in like heel edge, toe edge on a backside spin. But the reason why we're doing this is actually twofold. First, we're doing it to get that clean line like you think of. But second, we're doing it to expand the range of motion in our hips, get them open, get our chest open to that corner, so then we have a bigger platform to generate rotation and power from. And then the other principle we're using here is we're trying to throw past our body, so that way we can pop up and connect it and carry that momentum through. In another video, I talked about counter rotation, how if you have your upper body set over here, you can pop up and counter rotate it back. But this is like the start of it. If you add a little bit of rotation for upper body and continue it, then you'll have continued momentum that you combine with counter momentum. And this is really going to be how you start getting 360s, how you start getting 540s, and how you really start progressing to the next level of freestyle snowboarding, butters, all that jazz. So what do we want to do to train this? We simply want to go and feel out the same opening our hips, the expansion of the back leg, and just trying to get really comfortable with moving within our stack position while doing this. And then something really important to keep in mind when you're thinking about opening up your body and closing your body and moving it independently in freestyle is we don't want to be doing too much. If we're coming into a jump like this, we now have no range of motion and we have no connected. So that's why we need to really ensure that we're not holding these positions. Remember, even though because we're expanding the range of motion and that's making us have more power, we're not getting that power by having that increased range of motion. Instead, we're getting it by the increased amount of time we can use to generate and push through a motion. So when you're practicing this, I want you to go and think about timing, connection, and flowing through it. If you feel that you're getting to a point where you're rotating, snapping, and then getting stuck, or you're starting to feel weak in the core, weak in the snap, it's no good. And we'll end this off with the last thing that you can use to really judge if you're doing this, and that is the stack position. Weight on the balls of your feet, got that little bit of bounce, got that little bit of flexibility, and from here, we want all of our rotations to not shift our weight away from the balls of our feet. Whenever you see someone really good at snowboarding, no matter how complex the motion is, they always are keeping their upper body set, they're keeping their legs set in a way to maintain their center of balance exactly where they want to be for the landing or in the jump. So for something like a front board same way, we're coming in a little more squatted, a little more like this, landing in this position, what lets them channel that upper body through, coming around. So see there, even though I'm going up, adding rotation, adding a bunch of complexity, my center of balance is being set over the same point. And this is bringing us into the last thing we'll talk about here. If you have yourself too tall or extended, it's going to make it really limit your range of motion. The more squatted down you get within reason, the more you'll be able to expand your range of motion. So if you do a lot of riding where it's like shifting to the toes, shifting to the heels like this, you're not going to have much room to expand or close that upper body. But as soon as we add that stack position, we add a little more squat down, that's going to let us really start opening up those hips, opening up that chest, and that'll start letting us load and lead with our upper body, continuing that momentum through. So my recommendation for the summer is go and just practice these feelings. Practice moving the upper body, lower body, and keeping everything connected, but fluent. Not trying to move everything all connected and stiff at once. Because getting really comfortable with these principles off the snow will make it a lot easier when you try to implement more high-level, complex techniques throughout the winter. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back at it with another one soon.